Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 3. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, we are over at the chateau. Okay, I guess Sheree took a page from Drew's book and she hired a chef for the season. Okay, because we done seen this lady twice. So Sonya and Marlo, they're coming over for brunch. So when Sonya walked in, Sheree said, well, you know I can't have y'all coming over without something. Girl, since when? Sheree, you putting on for your city this season, girl. Girl, please. You remember when they all were going on that camping trip season 9 and Sheree had that food, the muffins from Publix, honey, she didn't even have no silverware. She don't know about to play with her. But I am happy that you have stepped it up, Sheree. Good job. Because, honey, you can't have a chateau without a chef. So Marlo shows up and they start talking about BravoCon. Now, this episode should have been called, y'all remember what happened at BravoCon? Because that's all this was about. So let's get into it. So Marlo is asking if they saw what Mama Joy said. And Sheree was like, well, you know, I just can't believe that she's still talking about Todd. Now, Sheree, I have to agree with you. After all these years, and these people have been married for almost 10 years. If they haven't been married for 10 years, I haven't kept up. But why are we still talking about Todrick? So then they talked about the panel. And Sonya's like, yeah, you know, with Drew, I feel like she was on that BS. Actually, she was not. She was speaking facts. You were creating drama and issues where there were not no drama and issues, girl. Like, she had to bring it up. Y'all were fresh off the season. What did you want her to say? Oh, well, I mean, we're good. No, we don't come to the panels to hear y'all good. We want to know the dirt, honey. Get down to the nitty gritty. So what happened? Are y'all cool? No? Okay. Like, girl, but we know you knew, so it's okay. Moving forward. So Sheree brings up Kenya and she's like, yeah, you know, Kenya came down and I told her that she needs to respect, you know, Hotel. I want her to respect him. He's smart. He is kind. He is important. He is the ex. Okay. The ex of Melody. And he's giving her hell over there. And I guess you respect that. And I guess that's okay with you. And listen, again, no, he's not doing what he did over there to Sheree at this moment. But his representative is still showing up. Y'all know how it be. Y'all know how it be. So stop acting like, well, he's probably changed. No. Moving forward. So Marlo straight up told her, she said, you know what? At first I didn't like him. But you know, I mean, he cool. Marlo, always follow your first mind. Okay. And Sheree was like, yeah, he sent a car service. Here go Marlo. Ooh, he cool. He should hook me up. Ask him if he can hook me up with somebody. Maybe he can call Marceau. I'm sorry, Tisha. I'm trying to give Marlo your man, honey. Ooh, I cannot be trusted. Do you hear me? No, I'm just kidding. Marceau is a married man, honey. But you know what they say about him down in Huntsville, honey. If you ain't watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, go on down there and start with season 1 and come back over here and tell me what you think. In the next scene, Ralph and Drew go on a date. They're going rock climbing. They climbing up the wall. Spider-Man, honey. They climbing up and climbing down. So then they sit down and they start talking about the music. And he's like, well, I mean, I feel like we could be Ike and Tina. That ain't funny. No comment. Okay, I got something I want to say, but I'm not going to even do it. I'm not even going to say it. So in the confessional, she's like, I mean, I guess he must have hit his head on some rocks coming down the wall because we're more like Beyonce and Jay-Z. No, y'all are like Siegfried and Roy. I really be trying not to be shady, honey, but this is a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade. So Siegfried and Roy, they talking. Ooh, honey, everybody want to be Hove and B. Y'all are not Jigga, Jigga, that figure Jigga and Beyonce. Y'all are not Hove and Sasha Fierce. Y'all are just not. So she tells him, you know, she's like, ooh, you know what? My song got 30,000 streams, right? He can't let her be great. Here he go. He got to bring her down a notch. You know what? He is one of those. And y'all know what one of those I'm talking about. It's like they're in secret competition with their own women. They secretly hate you. And that is Ralph. So when she said it, he gonna say, well, that's bad. She was like, that's bad. Well, to him it's bad. And he gonna say, well, you know, I mean, I just feel like for what it is, it's good, but it could be better. She said, well, as far as like marketing and stuff, you put the song out, then you basically just dipped. So he says that he's taking it to a certain point. What point is that? Y'all got about as many streams as I have subs over here on YouTube. So that everybody that subscribed to me stream that video. What about everybody else? What about everybody else, honey? He's like, yeah, I got to focus on myself and what I need to do. See, he does not want her to shine, which is why I hope and I pray that she catapults into success. I pray that this is Drew's season. Do you hear me? I hope that she comes rising up from the ashes like a phoenix and shows him. Now, listen, a lot of people can say what they want to say about, Peach Juice Williams. But baby, when Cordell quit her over on the Twitter, Portia turned that thing around. Because, at first she was sitting there, I will cook his meals. That damn Portia. First she wanted to cook his meals. And baby, after that, once he left her alone and she was able to really shine, then, she came into her own. So I really just want the best for Drew. I really do, because I just can't stand Ralph. I just can't. Moving forward. So she gonna say, I want to perform at BravoCon next year. He said, yeah, somebody came up to me and said, Ralph, gaslight me. Well, clearly they need prescription medication, because I would have acted like you were not even there, honey. I would have acted like you were down in Tampa. And see, this is what I'm talking about him wanting to be in secret competition. Why, when she said, I want to perform at BravoCon, could you not have said, you know what, and I want you to perform at BravoCon, so whatever I have to do in order to get you there, we gonna do that. I don't care how you get there, just get there if you can. Honey, that's what you should have been saying. I just can't stand him, child. Let's move on. So Kenya's at the house, right, in her businesswoman bag. And so she's not pleased with the graphic design artist. So she's on the phone, but at the same time, there's a confessional going on. So Kenya is saying, I have these people that I employ, and I'm kind of like their mentor, and I'm very patient with them, as she cusses them the hell out. Baby, the way that she is cussing this man out on his phone, she will be on Canva doing it her damn self. Shout out to Canva. Honey, I'm looking for a sponsorship, okay? So nasty and so rude. Kenya, that was so nasty and so rude. So then Monyetta FaceTimes Kenya, right? And so Kenya's telling her that the Magic City Classic is happening and they asked her to perform. So she's going to hit him with the Kenya more hair care, with a band and whatnot. So she wants Monyetta to help her choreograph everything. And I had no idea that Monyetta was a choreographer. Did y'all know that? I don't know why I didn't know that. I just didn't know that, but that's cute. In the next scene, Kandi's down at the factory with Don Wizon. Kandi now. I'm not a fan of this hair. Ma'am, what is going on? It's just up there. Okay, it's placed ever so. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, and I don't like that outfit either. I just don't. Everything is just wrong. It's all to the wrong. So they going over her to-do list. He's writing everything on the whiteboard. Let me tell you something. That thing was a mile long. I'm tired just looking at it. Okay, I'd be like, 3 reviews in one day, honey. I need to go lay down. Kandi is the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, honey. There's no way I can do that. So then Monyetta stops by. Hey, girl. And she's basically giving Kandi her flowers for a piano lesson. So they start talking about BravoCon. What a shocker. I guess, like I said, that's the theme for this episode. So they start talking about her mama being disrespectful to Todd. Kandi was like, yeah, I haven't called her since then. Todd was pissed because he found out via Kayla. So Don was asking Kandi, he said, have you ever just told her how that makes you feel? Let me tell you something. We have been going through this for seasons now, and it's getting pretty old. She knows exactly how that makes Kandi feel. Okay? That hurts her. She doesn't care. But at a point, enough is enough. Okay? That's when you have to create clear boundaries and distance, especially with old school parents, because they have this mentality of, I'm the parent, you're the child, no matter the age. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm set in my ways. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. And that's not going to work. Kandi, let me tell you something. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. You need to protect your marriage. Get red closure wig Kandi on the line so she can stop the shenanigans. Now, I'm not saying cuss your mama out, because I would never do that. Okay? Never. But I'm just saying you have to be very clear and concise with the foolery. Todd has proven that he is loyal. He's proven it. How many years he got to be in until he proves himself to your mama? Child, this is crazy. Moving forward. In the next scene, Drew and Ralph are playing in our faces with this play cousin. So more scream time for Courtney, child. She coming over. They're inviting her over for dinner. So Candace FaceTimes Drew before Courtney gets there, and they've become friends, and she's telling her, you know, she's in Chicago right now, but she's coming to Atlanta, and Shamari was supposed to perform with her, but she can't make it, so she wants Drew to come and fill in. Now, I know that Ronnie does not want Shamari on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, especially when she got a little liquor in her, because y'all know she was, you know, loose as a goose. But I really feel like we should have given Shamari a second season. That just really bothers me every time I think about it. If anybody deserved a second season, it was Shamari. Now, she did say that they invited her back, but I know that Ronnie didn't want her to come back. And I really hate that for her because I feel like she could have been a great housewife. Her first season, you know, she was a little bit like Drew. Bad clothes, you know, her wigs were cute. Sometimes they would slide back. Beautiful natural hair. And I just feel like she could have gave us something. But anywho, child, Shamari ain't coming, so Drew is in. So Drew is super excited for the invite, as she should be. And so, you know, she's saying, you know, she's going to invite everybody and whatnot. So then Courtney shows up at Drew's house with her lover turned co-parent. So Drew did a movie with him, and when he walked in, she was kind of surprised, like, what? What? I mean, are y'all together? And she's like, no, that's my child's father. So he used to be in the group Groove Theory. Shout out to Groove Theory, honey. I'm showing my age. And, you know, Drew was just basically like, what a small world. So they're talking about whatever it is they're talking about. And then Courtney goes, yeah, I mean, but now we're the best of friends and we're also co-parenting. Girl, how are y'all co-parenting a 24-year-old? You just say any old thing, honey. You just want to show up, and you don't want to show up without a person. And you also just want to put on. It's given that season when Sheree had gotten back with Bob and they were in the Sprinter talking about their co-parenting. You can't co-parent grown people. Anyway. So Drew tells Courtney that Candace invited her to sing in Atlanta and she's going to invite all the ladies. So while Courtney is there, Drew FaceTimes Kandi. Drew, what is wrong with you? Didn't I tell y'all Drew give us a little bit of confusion? I told y'all. I said we need Drew because Drew going to cause confusion wherever she go. Okay, she going to leave confusion and utter destruction in her wake. Do you hear me? So she FaceTimes Kandi. She's like, look at the cousin. Look at cousin Courtney. Now, Drew, Ralph had already told you what went down. So please stop acting surprised that Kandi don't want to be on this FaceTime with that lady in that background. Candy's like, girl, why are you calling me? You know I don't like that lady. See, now, Drew, this is why they always get on you. And Drew up there talking about, I don't want drama with Drew. Now, see, Drew, right here, you are acting a fool. Please stop, okay? She's telling Kandi that Candace invited her to perform. And Candy's like, girl, I'm going to be there. Okay, bye. Boo. Honey, hang that phone. Good on up. Let me tell y'all something. No disrespect to you, Drew, but I would have hung up in your face. Y'all remember when Kenya hung up in Sonya's face because she was with the foolery? I would have hung up in your face. I mean, because you're calling me and you already know that me and this lady do not get along. You claim you saw it on the blogs. Ralph then filled you in. So why are you FaceTiming this woman? So they all sit down. Courtney is like, no, I'm over it. I'm fine. And so Drew is like, well, are you going to come to the performance? She said, yeah, I'm going to come, but not if it's going to, you know, trigger anybody. And just, I really don't want to trigger anyone. Ma'am, just come. Anybody paying you no attention. So then they bring up Sonya. And Drew is telling her how Sonya can be and how they had this beef out of nowhere. And basically she's holding on to this grudge that's not really real. Okay, I'm about tired of hearing about y'all's beef. Let's move on because I'm getting bored. Moving forward. Oh, but side note, I'm trying to figure out what conversation did Courtney and Ralph have to know that they were cousins all of a sudden. It's giving a plot and a scheme. And because I ain't never, and I do mean never, found no long lost cousin at a party and now we hanging out every weekend. Drew and Ralph probably need to stay together, honey. They might need to reevaluate this thing with this divorce because nobody else finna play pretend like these two do together. Nobody else finna play in each other's face like Drew and Ralph. Child, this is a fool. In the next scene, we see Marlo and her nephew's sons. They're riding around, they getting it. They're about to go to the mall, but it's raining, so they're not gonna get out. Somebody's gonna do a little curbside service. So she's telling us, she's always on them about their grades, and because they're talking in the car about wanting some $1,000 shoes or something. And she's like, y'all got to get straight A's. Baby, you got to get straight A's. You got to be the president of the United States when you grow up. I'm not buying no child $1,000 pair of shoes. Not never. Even if I did have it. So anywho, she's saying the reason why she's always so hard on them is because she lost her nephew Quentin to gun violence. And we're going to hear about that a little bit later in the episode. Back over here with Drew. Child, Drew got this lady tagging along to Candace's rehearsal. Is she your new BFF and Ralph's new cousin? Like, how's this working? Anywho, hey, Kandi girl. She's making an Atlanta cameo because, the people always try to put Candace over on Atlanta. I don't think Candace would make it over on Atlanta. It would be too much friction, honey. It would be too much foolery. So it's the night of Candace's performance. So all the ladies are arriving. I see Dr. Heavenly. Hey, girl. I cannot wait for Married to Medicine to return. That is my show. Do y'all hear me? I love me some Married to Medicine. They have not had a bad season yet. And that is hard to do. You know how some seasons are a little bit lackluster and you're like, okay, y'all could have kept that one. Married to Medicine has never had that. Not for me. Now, maybe for some other people, but they don't miss. They just don't miss. Oh, Lord. As soon as Sonya arrived, she started talking about how hard it is to build a friendship with Drew. Girl, get on in and sit on down. Let it go. Just start over. Y'all ain't really even beefing for real. Y'all just talking in circles. Anyway, so Marlo comes to the table. Nobody's really speaking. Sonya is like, so nobody's talking to Marlo? Well, Charlie don't look like it. Now, I understand Kandi because, they have a little beef from way back. But I really don't understand Monyetta. She's mad with Marlo. I don't know if she's trying to prove her loyalty to Kandi, honey. I don't know what's going on. But it ain't, nobody's speaking to Marlo at this moment. So then Courtney shows up. And so they tell us that Sheree is under the weather. Child, she ain't under no weather. She just lying. Probably up under hotel. That's what she up under. Because she ain't up under no weather. In the confessional, she's like, yeah, I would love to see Flop It with Drew. But I'm under the weather. Girl, keep your negativity down at the chateau. Okay. Was she negative when you finally came out with She by Sheree after 14 years? No, she was not. Girl, just hating for absolutely no reason. So then Candace in this heavy blonde wig started performing, equipped with a Beyonce fan, blowing it back, honey. I said, look at Candace playing Beyonce on stage. Y'all, I'm not about to play with y'all, honey. I am not about to play. So she's like, I want to bring out a special guest. So then Drew comes out in this errand running outfit. She sang a note and she was out. Drew, what is going on? Drew gave him, can you woo, woo, woo? Thank you, Atlanta. Drew said, I'm here all week. Drew, you ain't saying nothing. I would not have let Candace play in my face. Girl, you done got a cameo on my season of my show that's currently airing and all I got to say was, no. Honey, I'm gonna really sing if you call me out here to sing. So anyway, all the ladies are like, girl, what in the ad-lib is this? Okay, this was not a performance. Like, what is really happening? So Ralph comes through with flowers, like Drew just brought the house down. Okay, girl, go and get your flowers and whatnot. So she goes over to greet the other ladies to finish watching Candace drive back. So we're watching a little bit of her performance, and then the night is winding down, so they all go to the back. So Kenya is like, Drew, why did you only get such a small part? Like, why didn't you really just give it to us? We really wanted to hear more. Well, she said, well, it was Candace's performance and that's what she wanted me to do. I understand that, but I feel like maybe Candace should have had you open for her or something. Now, I don't know if they couldn't have edited it because the women said the same thing. I don't know. It just didn't give us nothing, child. But you have a beautiful voice. So then Marlo was like, yeah, Sonya gave you a standing ovation. Drew was like, what? Oh my God, really? So Sonya goes, yeah, I mean, it was great. I really wish we could have heard more, but about what happened at BravoCon. Oh my God. Child, y'all give me a break. Please give me a break. Drew said, well, I mean, you unfollowed me because of the merch. Sonya said, no, I unfollowed you because of the hair flip. I didn't see the merch until later. I'm about to unfollow this whole show if y'all don't quit. Please stop. So they ended up making up or whatever, or sweeping it under the wig. They hugged and they smiled and they lied. So then Kandi brings up what Courtney said about her bringing out the ghetto. Courtney is like, no, don't backpedal now. Don't backpedal now. She was like, no, I said I'm down for the ghetto. My family is ghetto, straight out of the hood, okay? Straight from the A. We're ghetto as well. I can show you. Ma'am, say what now? You can show her that your family is ghetto? This really gave me, no, I would never. I have a black friend. What are you saying? I have friends that are black. That is what this is giving me. So Courtney, please. So then Kandi getting all upset, talking about, I bring everybody out, honey. She triggered. I'm triggered because I wouldn't let nothing that this lady that doesn't know me say that would affect me in any way. I would not let it affect me this way. Who cares? Kandi, you are giving it entirely too much energy. Act like you don't know her. Shut up and act like I don't even see her. So Kandi was like, you're ghetto. So child, they arguing about the ghetto. Talking about the ghetto. The ghetto. So maybe they arguing about the ghetto. Ralph out there being Ralph, talking to Chris, and trying to get him to take shots or whatever they doing out there. So now we on to Monyetta and Marlo. Now let me tell you something about this scene that really irked my nerves. It was very disjointed. It was like, okay, now let's move on to Kandi. Kandi, why didn't you do this? Okay, now let's move on to Sonia and Drew. It didn't organically flow. When I get in a room with some heifers, we're not going to go from problem to problem to problem to problem. We're not going to do that. We're just going to organically speak. And then as we get into it, then we'll move on to something else. But it just didn't flow for me. But anyway, now we on to the next set of mess. Monyetta and Marlo. Monyetta is mad because Marlo said Kandi let her speak. Child, Marlo wasn't paying her no mind. She was like, is that all you wanted to talk about, beautiful? Listen, I know y'all can't stand Marlo, but baby, that was hilarious to me. The amount of dust that she paid poor Monyetta. Baby, Monyetta was really ready to get into it. Baby, Marlo said, girl, I ain't even got it in me. Is that all, beautiful? I'm sorry. Child, she could not be bothered. So then Drew was like, so, Kandi, what happened at Blaze? Because I was there at Blaze like 2 days before. Like, what happened? Drew, I know the producers probably told you to ask this question because they couldn't get nothing out of Kandi. So they asked you to do it. But this is giving very much Cynthia when she had the tea about Mr. Chocolate with Phaedra. I want to put it on the table, but just put it on the table, Drew. Just put it on the table, Drew. It's giving Cynthia. I can't wait till Cynthia makes her cameo. Shout out to Cynthia, honey. So Marlo goes, what incident? Oh, the shooting? What incident? So she's really trying to get Drew to say it, but Drew will not say the word. So Kandi said, they're fine. It's a private matter. So Kandi don't want to talk about it. Marlo gets up because she's pissed that Kandi won't talk about it. She's like, well, you know, Kandi always just sweeps her stuff right under the rug. Well, Kandi really don't be having stuff. And whatever stuff she does have, we gonna hear about it. I really ain't never heard her sweep nothing under the rug. So she's like, well, let's bring up the girl that you cut in the face. Okay, now Kandi, the two don't really equate to each other if we're being honest. Now I gotta keep it real. On all sides, the two do not equate. Marlo wasn't a housewife then. And we've already talked about her 5011 mug shots. We've already talked about that. But this is something that happened recently. So, of course, if it was on the news and in the blogs, people want to know about it. People want to know. But, I mean, I do understand you not want to talk around people that you know can't stand you. Because I ain't talking to y'all about nothing. And I know you don't like me. So, I think that's the stance that Kandi was really taking. She probably was just like, girl, you don't like me and I don't like y'all. I ain't talking to you about nothing. 30 minutes later. So, child, then we see 30 minutes later, Marlo and Drew are arguing about Drew not using the word shooting. Marlo, she doesn't have to say that if she does not want to. We knew exactly what she was saying. Everybody in that room knew exactly what she was talking about. So Drew is like, well, I didn't want to make that a moment. So Marlo is livid because her nephew Quentin, who used to work at the restaurant, was unalived at home by his roommate. And so she said she texted Kandi and her response was basically like she didn't care. She said then the next day I saw her and she acted like she didn't know what I was talking about. So they show some unaired footage of her talking to Kandi and she's pissed at Drew for acting. She's like, my nephew is dead. So she's yelling all in Drew's face. Marlo, I have to say this is misdirected anger. Now, my condolences to you about your nephew. I know that has to be tough. I really do. I am sure that really hurt her. But you're angry at Kandi. You're not angry at Drew. You're just picking the easy way out. Because you know, child, they gonna say that if anything happened with Marlo's peach, they gonna say Kandi had it snatched because they got no argument, child. Blame it on Rock Nation, honey, or whatever they be doing. You know how they do, child. So I really feel like she wanted to go toe-to-toe with Kandi, but she didn't do that. She's going toe-to-toe with Drew, and Drew is confused. Like, what's going on? Listen to me, Marlo. Her not saying shooting, even if she did, it wasn't going to change anything. Kandi was still going to ignore y'all. Like, I don't think that Drew was trying to protect her. I really don't. But I will say this. If you were harboring those feelings from years ago, then why didn't you say something a long time ago? Why are you just now saying it now? And then you want Drew to do your dirty work by saying a certain buzzword. Girl, that don't make no sense. Just say it. If you want to talk about it, then just talk about it, because now people are really confused. So let me just break it down to y'all real quick. This is my theory. This is what I think happened. You know, because I watched it a few times so I could get out of confusion. Marlo is pissed because Drew didn't use the word shooting. She felt like Drew should have really just said what it was and stop, basically pussyfooting around it. Like, girl, just say it. Stop tap dancing around it. Just say it. Drew didn't want to do that because she didn't want to make it a moment. Marlo feels like Drew was trying to basically protect Kandi and not say anything, but they won't do the same for her. So then she brings up the incident about her cousin and how Kandi didn't even care, and how, when things happen, Kandi doesn't ever want to talk about her real, but she wants everybody else's real. That's what I gathered from it. But Marlo, this is the first time we're hearing about this. So, I mean, you can't be mad at Drew. I really just don't understand it. Girl, and that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. It had peaks and valleys. It's like at one point I was interested. Then I went to go get a refreshing beverage. Then I was bored. Then I was like, say what now? And then Drew came out. Will you woo, woo, woo. And that was the end. So, yeah. I ain't got nothing else. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.